What is up everyone, I'm Nino. I've been coaching and helping independent artists for a good while now, and now I'm gonna do the same with you guys. And I have nothing to sell to you, but if you're interested in joining a free rap school community, feel free to do it, link in the description below. And let's get started. Today we're gonna talk about how to get rid of imposter syndrome for artists or get more confidence, and I have some 4 key points that I'm gonna go through. So let's go through the first one. So the first one is experience, meaning the time you have invested in your craft, meaning your music. So to make it more clear, this is not just the time you have been doing something, because sometimes there are people who say that I've been doing this for like 15-20 years or something, but then they still suck at it, to be honest. That's not what this means. Experience is how long you've been making music and how much time you have put into it. So there is a difference if someone has been doing something for 10 years, but they do it like once a month, couple times a month, compared to someone who does it like daily, multiple hours. So to deal with imposter syndrome is basically to get more confident and to get a bit more confidence by putting more time into your craft, and it will eventually come. You cannot really speed run this. Next thing is skill, meaning getting better at your craft. And with music, this is a bit difficult one because music is subjective, but here are some good metrics to use to kind of figure out your skills. Technical skills, meaning engineering, mixing and mastering, singing techniques, rapping techniques, producing skills compared to other artists. So basically your skill level is determined how high you are in the hierarchy of other artists, you know? So if you seem like your skills are kind of similar to beginner level artists, meaning that you can kind of write music, you can kind of record stuff, but you cannot really do anything else, and you don't really have any techniques. Let's say you can just like rap and you can do some basics, you know, write some basic bars, then obviously your skill level is a bit lower. But if you're someone who knows how to produce or some singing, rapping techniques, you're already a bit higher. And you just need to be honest with yourself, kill your ego, and compare yourself to other artists who are not so big and artists who are huge. And to see like what are their skill sets and be truthful about it and in comparison to yours. So you can kind of see like, are you closer to Kanye West or something, or are you closer to some random beginner artist, you know? And naturally when your technical skills go higher, your confidence goes higher, and your imposter syndrome fades away. And the next metric is a bit more difficult because more subjective, and it is musical skills. So do other people like your music? When you play songs to your friends or your family or people you know, do they like your music? Of course, if you do like some really like niche thing and the audience isn't that big, it's kind of a niche, it's not mainstream, of course there are chances that people don't like it just because of that. But also like when you release stuff online, is there anyone who really likes it, or is everyone just like no? And a good thing to keep in mind is that when you ask for like normal people's opinions compared to someone who also makes music, is an artist for example, a producer, you should probably pay a bit more attention to the artist's opinions. So this is one thing to keep in mind. And then, do you like your music compared to other artists' music? So this one is a bit tricky because everyone has a bias, but in order to truly get really good, you kind of have to try to kill the bias as much as possible. So just think that if this wouldn't be you're listening to your songs and your favorite artist songs, would you like listen to these songs on the same playlist? Or like compare your songs to the other songs you usually listen to? Like for example, if the answer is that you would sometimes prefer to just listen to your music compared to your favorite artist, the chances are like your music isn't horrible. But of course this is a bit difficult, and I'm probably gonna make another video killing bias, but everyone has bias. This one is probably the least useful metric, but don't forget about like your opinions and your judgments. Then third aspect of killing your imposter syndrome is personal brand. And this means that you need to feel comfortable and confident in your own personal brand. In music, there are clear definitive characteristics for artists in your genre, which might make imposter syndrome worse if you are any different. Fashion, behavior, lifestyle. Good thing is that your unique traits are what separates you from the rest. But the goal is to have a mix between unique traits and essential core traits of the genre. So let me give you a few examples. Some common things for rappers are fashion, and specifically fashion. Keep in mind that trends change and come and go. So like this might be a different at some other time, but this is kind of like a general what people think about rappers. Chains, you know, golden chains, diamond chains, baggy clothes, and grills. So we can all agree that those are pretty recognizable things for rappers. Then attitude, confidence / cocky attitude, and rebelliousness. Then we have lifestyle, violence, crime, money, drugs, hoes, you know, all that stuff, and flashy parties. So let's think about what could be the core essential trait of rap. Confidence and rebelliousness, this is something that all rappers pretty much have in common, and it's also the foundation that rap was built on. So think about Playboi Carti, Lil Uzi Vert, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Ian. Like, what do all of these rappers have in common? Confidence and rebelliousness. And all these rappers are like super different from each other, but they all have the same thing in common. So what I suggest you to do is the same thing as these rappers did, is to have the core traits, confidence and rebelliousness, with your own authentic persona. So to simply put, what this means is that you want to have two pieces in your personal brand. Let's say this is a personal brand. Here is the confidence and rebelliousness that everyone has, and here is you. So you want to basically think about who you are. Like, just think about like, what do I like? Like, how do I like to dress? What do I think about life? Like, what is my lifestyle? How do I want to live my life? You know, basically who you are, and just like think about it. And this might sound obvious, but just like really digging deep on your personal traits, and you can like write them down. You can pick the like few 2-3 core things that are, like, if someone would ask your friends, for example, like what are some traits that you recognize this guy from, and then like what people usually recognize you for. Those could be the traits that you focus on the most. And this is a bit off topic, but it's really important for your personal brand that focusing on those your personal traits and making them even like escalating them a bit more than normally. Like, let's say you're a rapper and the only thing you like to do is to like draw a bit, but then you wanna kind of make that into a bigger thing. Like, you like to draw a lot, like you draw all the time, you wanna be the next Michelangelo or Da Vinci or something, and you make it into a big thing, because that's what like people are gonna remember. They don't remember you kind of like to draw a bit, if that makes sense. And you can also have some more like typical traits also in here on top of the confidence and rebelliousness. Obviously you can have some traits and stuff, but don't be too like stereotypical like the masses, because then you cannot compete with the masses and you cannot like separate yourself. So it's really important you lean into like you. And also when you lean more into like your own persona, it's gonna make you more comfortable and confident, which is also gonna get rid of the imposter syndrome a bit more. And then fourth and last aspect is forget perfectionism. So perfectionism is just an excuse for procrastination. So I see this with a lot of artists, actually like most artists. They don't get their music out and songs done as fast as they should, and then they explain it with perfectionism, and that's what they cope with basically. So what you should do to fight against this is start getting stuff done, like releasing songs and content. If you find it really hard, do it as easy as possible at first. So if you really struggle to get your song done and released, or you really struggle on making content to promote your music, just like start from like make it as easy as possible. Like for example, content, just like take the camera, shoot a video of your face like this, and put some text in there. First thought that comes into your mind, your song there, bam, done, easy, fast. And same thing with your song, just make it something that you can actually finish, but just get it done, because this will start building motivation, momentum, and builds your discipline. it will create a snowball effect. All good things, all bad things are snowball effects. Like getting the first song done, the first content done is kind of like putting the snow together into a ball. And if you don't do that, the ball cannot roll. It cannot do the snowball thing, right? So don't wait for some miracle motivation or some miracle feeling that, oh yeah, now it's perfect, I can finally release this, I can finally do this content. Stop waiting for to feel ready, because you're never gonna feel ready. You just have to start small, and eventually you will feel a bit better, a bit more motivated, and a bit better and better. And often, actually, this is something that I used to think a lot, is that I need to be like good enough, like certain level of goodness, so I can like release stuff. But it never comes. The funny thing is, compared to if you release like 3 songs a year and you really try to get like a lot better between all of those, you probably won't level up as fast compared to if you release 30 songs a year, for example. So getting more stuff done fast usually is better with like basically everything. Usually the pros overcome the cons. It's a different thing when you're a big artist like A$AP Rocky, Playboi Carti, who can wait for like 10 plus years to release an album. That's a whole different thing. But if you're not there, stuff done fast. Forget perfectionism. So let's go through all the 4 points real fast again. First one is experience, second one is skill, then personal brand, and forget perfectionism. That's it. Let me know if you have any questions or if this helped you at all, and I will see you guys in the next video.